Hi, welcome to my thrifted home. My name is Dusti, where I love thrifting, decorating, and everything home. And I also love Jesus, and I'm happy to share that with you. So enjoy! Good morning, friends. Today we're heading to an estate sale put on by L&M, and they're calling it a time capsule house. It does look pretty like stuck in time, if you will. There's a lot of cool vintage things that I'm interested in, which is obviously why I'm going, but just a lot of neat different things. I think he posted 300 some pictures and I liked almost 50 of them, so that's pretty good. None of the other ones had that near that much. Parker Haig has one. There's a few things I'm interested in, but considering it's only a handful of things, like maybe 12 or 13 things I'm interested in there, and a lot of times theirs are kind of pricey. Maybe this afternoon. I'll go out later after this morning. It depends on, number one, how much I find and what I spend. Got to stay mindful of a budget. And just if I feel like going and being around more people. As you can see, it's raining. It has been raining pretty much every day this week. This is Thursday, and it's been raining since, I think it rained even Sunday, because that was Mother's Day. So yeah, we've had 5 days of rain, which is nice. I appreciate God watering my plants so I don't have to, but also kind of tired of the rain. And thank God it's an L&M because we can sign in and go sit in our cars. I'm sure if Deb's there, she's going to want to go to breakfast, and I don't want to go to breakfast. I guess I could go and sit with her, but I just would prefer not to. Nothing against her. I like Deb and Harry and all, but I'm tired. I almost kind of just want to sit in my car and take a little nap. Anyhow, we'll see what we can get into. Sorry, it's not focusing. Stuck on the raindrops. But stay tuned for the haul. Maybe I'll even be able to get some pictures inside. We'll see. Hello, friends. Welcome back. Welcome back to the haul. And there probably can be a little bit of a decorate with me because I did find some good things to decorate with. It was a good sale. It was put on by L&M, as I mentioned before. And I love L&M. They are just the best because they're such wonderful, nice people. I love that you can do a sign-in sheet 2 hours before and then go do whatever you want and come back. He usually lets the very first person on the sale have about a 20-second head start. Not that that's a big deal, but it's still kind of fun. And today, Harry was number one, and he beat Deb, which I find is really funny. Speaking of Harry, or Deb, excuse me, she found me some of these old folding measures that I love, plus a bag full of big candy bars like Reese's, Kit Kats, Paydays, and the big size, like the king size. So this was pretty awesome. Thank you, Deb. Love it. And then Harry found these for me at the sale. So more, love them, and brought them to me. And then, yeah, it was quite a few people because it was interesting. Saw some other old friends that we hadn't seen for a while, and Brenda was there, and Emily, and Gary, and just a bunch of old, wonderful people that are usually at the sales. But then not too long after all of us signed in, it started to rain. Thank goodness one of my friends was there with her umbrella and shared the umbrella with me while we stayed and chatted. Harry and Deb went for breakfast, and some of the others left or went and sat in their cars. But we stood outside. It was a nice rain. It was warm, so that helps. And it kind of was nice because it also kind of tamped down the gnats because it was showing up. And as my daughter says on Bald Head Island, gnat season. So thankfully that helped. I did use my bug spray, but I don't know if that made a difference. And then after that cleared, we were about 45 minutes away from the sale, and a gentleman came up and signed in, and he's like, okay, so what do we do now? And we're like, well, did you sign in? He's like, yeah, I signed in. I'm number 16. Well, that was during a time frame when most everybody was gone, and there was maybe 10 of us there, maybe if even, maybe just 8. I don't even think Deb and Harry were back. There was just a handful of us there. And he's like, well, what happens now? And one of our regulars says, hey, you know, once it's signed in, when it starts, then Lance comes out and calls your names and you go in, and he cuts it off where he cuts it off. And he, you know, usually 15 to 20 get into the house. And this gentleman's like, what? So we have to wait? And it's like, yeah, the sale doesn't start yet. Well, this is weird. I've never been to a sale like this. Well, then you've never been to an L&M or a Hold Hickory, because that's both of them. That's how they do it. And I want to say there's another one that even does sign-ins. So it is what it is, dude. Chill out. And maybe it's karma. I don't know. I find it a little bit funny because when Lance came out and started asking us to come in, I was number 10. This gentleman was number 16 and was all concerned about, well, you know, where is everybody? I'm 16. Lance cut it off at 15 to let people in the house, so he didn't get to go in the first go around. And I just does a little bit of karma, a little bit of like, hey, check your attitude at the door. So anyway, time for the haul. So you already saw all the tape measures, the ones that Deb got for me and the ones Harry found for me at the sale. I also need to clean the glass on it, but got this picture frame. I love these with the oval, and you can hopefully see the detailing on the oval mat. I love those. I love the small size. Then I also got this other little guy. I love these for smaller pictures and fillers. Then I got this New Testament. I couldn't find a date on it for age. I was looking on the inside. It's signed into Jane Beard and Mrs. M.C. Howell, maybe. But I don't see a date on it. But you can see by the pages, it's seen some times. It's seen some wear and tear, and I just love it. And then I already have a copy of this. I'm going to go look at my copy and decide whether I'm keeping my copy or what. But it's Fatal Vision by Joe McGinnis. And it fascinates me also from the fact that we live in Fayetteville, and this happened in Fayetteville in 1971. If you're not familiar with it, Jeffrey McDonald was a Green Beret stationed at Fort Bragg. And on the morning of, I think it was February 2nd or February 11th. I've read it. I swear I have, but it's been a while. Anyway, I don't know where the date of when it was happened, but it was early February 1971. His wife was found stabbed, and his two daughters that were 3 and 5. And he got convicted of their murders, and he's still currently in prison and still contests it and says he's innocent, and I believe he's not. But anyway, this is the first edition copy, and plus the fact that it looks old, I thought it was cool, so I bought it. Then I also got this trophy. Penny has collected them before, and I've found her some, but I've never gotten one for myself, but I think it's really cool. I think I will use it in the Father's Day vignette. So, and it's weird because this is plastic, but this is metal, and it's pretty heavy. Then you may have not seen it before. If you have seen it before, you'll know what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, I have a gallery wall in my bathroom that's all hand mirrors. I put Velcro strips on this side and hang it so that you can see the pattern. And most of the time I'm collecting them, they always come with a set with the brush and comb, or at least the brush, and they want to sell it as a whole set, and it's usually more expensive, and I just want the mirror. So it was wonderful to find one with just the mirror. So I'm excited to add this to the gallery wall. Then I found a set of 3 pictures, but I'm going to totally break up the set because I want to. And I'm keeping one of them, and then the other 2 are going to go in my shop. But the one I'm keeping is this one. I like the image. It kind of reminds me of Galveston Island in the 1900s. So, and my grandparents lived off Galveston, up near Houston, in between, in Dickinson. So I spent a lot of summers going over to Galveston Island with them, and has fond memories, so kind of like it for that. I also got Haley a couple more mirrors for her gallery wall that she's going to be working on in her bedroom. That's probably what I'll be doing when I go to visit her in June. So never know, in June we might be seeing a new gallery wall of hers in her bedroom. She wants to do some rearranging, so sounds like a project. That's Lexi. This is also for Haley because she didn't have a potato masher. And it's like, oh my gosh, I know some people like to use mixers, like hand mixers or KitchenAids, but I personally like this old-fashioned way of mashing the potatoes. I like mine a little bit lumpy, so, and I know people will make it instant, but I prefer my homemade one. And it does have a little bit of chip in here, but this is what I was more concerned about. There's no rust. It's good condition. So got her a potato masher. Then I also got her this fun little chair that looks wicker, but it's actually metal. I don't know what she's doing with it, but that's not my problem. So that is for her. Now this stuff is, I'm going to share it with you, but Aunt Penny's already spoken for it. If you don't watch Little Cahaba Junkin' with Kayla and Aunt Penny, they have the best adventures doing some junkin' in Alabama. So check out that channel. I'll link it in the description so you can check it out. But anyway, she's getting these. Then I found this for her patriotic during the summertime she loves to do. And also for the summertime, this tin, which it was the last thing I grabbed at the sale. I couldn't find it. I don't remember seeing it. Finally, I asked somebody working there, and they're like, oh, yeah, I'll find it. And she brought it to me. She was wonderful, so that's great. And then I know Aunt Penny likes to collect the older white Bibles, so found her a couple of those. And L&M is always great. They always give them away free, which I think is spectacular. And last count we had over 50 that we have ourselves, and I keep collecting them because they're just cool. I just love the Bible, and I love the old Bibles. So now the rest of this is going in the shop. So if you see anything, it's going to be already in the shop by the time you see this video. And I'm talking about my Etsy shop. I have an Etsy shop online, and all that information is linked in my description of this video, as well as my profile on YouTube. I also have an Amazon storefront. I have a spread shop that's in my YouTube channel where Haley and I have made some vintage designs of vintage treasures that you can have, a hat or an apron or a tote to go junkin' with. So anyway, this stuff's going in my Etsy shop. So first off is this. I think the image is on both sides, but it's brass. And I thought it was really cool. It has a great ring to it, plus the little hook here. So I don't know if someone would want it just for decor, if they want to use it. I just thought it was really cool, and maybe somebody would like it. Then I have these set of little chicks. Are they chicks or are they ducks? I think they're chicks. They'd be great at Easter, or if you just like hens and roosters and chicks. So this is the first little guy. Super cute. Then we have this little guy doing a little bow down. And then the last little guy is right here, and he did have his leg re-glued, but he's still adorable. So putting all three of those together. And then I mentioned that I was keeping that picture, and there were two others. So I'm going to sell these two together because they're part of the set, even though I'm breaking it up for myself. But these two. And to me, I think it's cool, the old back. And this one does have a little cracking right here because it's like, I'm not sure if it's like, it feels like it's plastic and then pressed board on the back. But I just thought they were really cool images. Whoops. There we go. And it would be for fun gallery walls. So, and then even though I use strawberries in my summertime for decor, I'm not going to keep this. So there will be this little strawberry picture, and it's missing, but I'm betting it's an Avon. That's just my gut feeling. But anyway, this will be in my shop if you wanted to decorate with strawberries for summer. And then the last thing is this jar of old buttons. The whole thing is going in my shop. So if you like to collect old buttons, or if you like the buttons and the jar, however you want to do it, that will be in my shop as well. So that is my haul. Let's have a verse. So here's the pretty image. This is one of the cards I got off of Amazon. I have several, some that have been gifted to me, like from my cousin Cheryl, from my friend Alexandra, that's a pen pal, from Aunt Penny, from other friends. I've found a few at antique stores that didn't have writing on them that I could reuse. And then some that are like reproductions like this I've found on Amazon. So the verse today, Psalms 105, "For the Lord is good, and his faithfulness faithful love endures forever, and his faithfulness through all generations. Sorry if you hear that, Lexi's getting a drink. God is good, and he is faithful, and his love endures forever. And it's so comforting because nothing in this life, in this world, seems to last forever. You know, eventually these like vintage things fall apart, deteriorate, get broke, get destroyed. They fall apart. Our bodies, as we age, fall apart and don't last. You know, jobs don't last, marriages don't last, houses don't last. I mean, this world is temporary. Only the eternal, our soul, lasts forever. And that's because God created us to be eternal with him. And he himself is eternal. He was here before anything began. He just is. He's God. And he's faithful. He can't be unfaithful because it's against his character. And that's such a comfort to know that he's good and that his faithful love endures. So let's see what we can decorate with. So stay tuned for some decorating. There is all the mirrors for the gallery wall. And see, just some Velcro strips. I thought about putting it here, but I don't really like it there. I thought about putting it up there, but I think I'm gonna put it over here because, I mean, eventually I'm gonna go up anyway. So I'm kind of thinking right there. And granted, it's a little high, but I know I'll fill in. I would like some smaller ones down here and over here, and then I can keep going up. That's fine. So I will just keep adding to it, slow but sure. So I've already collected a couple of lanterns here. That one's, the black one's solar powered. And then the other two have candles that are faux candles with timers on them. So I'm gonna add the new one here. This is a transplanted plant as well as that one. So they're still trying to play catch up, but they're not doing too bad. And then on this side we have more over here. I need to get some lanterns for this side, but just gotta take what you get. So that is my front porch. Beautiful, gorgeous day out. If you saw my video where Haley and I went to Vintage Market Days, you will know about this. And here's where I added the new pictures. The one that I thought reminded me of Galveston. In this frame, try and get out the glare, a picture of my mama. I think that was her junior year in high school. So I'll step back here so you can see the whole gallery, how it's looking. It still needs to fill in some more, but that's the fun of a gallery wall, always filling in. So there's that. Well, that's my video for this week. Thanks for coming, friends. Thanks for sharing with me, and I really so appreciate your friendships. I love it when you comment and we can chat in the comments. It's wonderful, and I hope you have a wonderful week, and bye for now.